reputation, all of retired command sergeant majors have a reputation of being able to chew ass and take names, as we used to say. So I have no patience and I have no toleration for lies.
Bob, thank you so much
So
for
I came
that.
out of the closet in '91. I've been speaking openly and bluntly about this subject, and I want to say to you all who are here that this is the greatest, most important subject in the history of the human race. Because essentially it is the story of the human race. Ladies and gentlemen, good friends, all of you, we are not alone. We have never been alone. We have had an intimate interrelationship with advanced extraterrestrial intelligence from the beginning of our history. And that interrelationship is still going on. And I'm very gratified to be a part of this conference here in Barcelona. And I want to make it very clear to anyone who's interested is that I take my hat off to the sponsors of this program for having the courage to do what they're doing here. This is important, so pay attention and listen, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you.
Bravo.
Wow.
Okay.
Stephen Bassett.
Follow that, Steve. Are you an angry man?
Not at the moment. But first and foremost, I think it's important that I say that I speak for all of us when I say that we have nothing against the perfectly fine Canadian province of Newfoundland. I look forward to going there someday and talking about exopolitics. So for you Newfoundlanders out there, it's okay, no problem. I'm Stephen Bassett. I founded the Paradigm Research Group in 1996, specific for one reason only, to pursue the political resolution of the UFO issue. That's it, and that's all that I've done for the last 13 years. The science and the ufology and the study of the sightings and all of that had gone about as far as it could, in my view, by then, and that it was clear that the government had a policy of withholding the truth and acknowledgement. So that had to be addressed. In the early days, back then, 96, 97, we were looking for new terms, new lexicon. And we talked about the politics of UFOs, which is kind of a bridge term. And then we talked about the concept of disclosure. That word turned up. But in 2000, the word exopolitics turned up. And that was due to the gentleman sitting to my left, Alfred Weber. And very quickly he was joined by others, in particular Dr. Michael Salla. But the moment I heard exopolitics, that term, the moment I heard it, instantly I knew that that was the umbrella under which we were going to proceed. That was the boat that we would sail in. And so within a few days, I think within a week, I contacted Art Bell, and there was something else going on at the time involving Danny Sheehan, an activist attorney. And I said, we need to get Alfred and Danny Sheehan on the show at the same time, because I was doing that for them back then, helping them put together some shows. And so Danny Sheehan and Alfred Weber came on. Danny was talking about some events that occurred in the Carter administration, that Alfred was, and Alfred was talking about that as well. They both had a connection to the Carter administration, and that was the reason. But of course, Alfred was talking about exopolitics. And so from that day forward, 2000, we had that new term. In only 9 years, it has now become on the edge of being a very significant change in thinking and terminology, a new field of study. When you Google it, you can get, I think now, something like 180,000 returns off of exopolitics, and there's no extra pages. It's all about the UFO ET issue. That has no other use in the English language. 600,000, I think, on Yahoo. It's on the verge of being in the dictionary. So that's in 9 years. A new field is developed, and you need that. You need language in order to move forward. You need new language to go into new places. So this conference is part of that. I'm glad to be a part of it, and look forward to presenting on Sunday.
Very good.
Bill, may I interject something? make your needs known, and there will be somebody who's listening.
Right, Jack? Yeah, that's some Jack, right? I need a milkshake, but I don't think so.
To your help. To all of you.
Okay.
To your help.
Very good.
Who are you?
Oh, well, no. I would like to continue around the circle here.
You don't want to say anything about Camelot?
Well, I think in the end we can.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right? I think the next person that we should introduce is Dr. Michael Sala.
In 2001, I was a professor at a university in Washington, D.C., American University, and I was teaching international politics. I had graduate level classes, and I saw the video of the disclosure conference, or this disclosure project press conference, and that really startled me. I just had no idea that this kind of information was out there. And prior to that, I always thought that extraterrestrial life was real, but someday in the future they'll contact us and wow, the world will change. So when I saw that press conference, my world kind of really crumbled in terms of like how I understood international politics and what was happening in the world. And so one of the first things I did was I showed the press conference video to a class, and the class was on theories of conflict, violence and war, and I showed it to the class, 25 graduate students, very progressive, liberal art students at American University, and I showed them the press conference, and then I said, what do you think? And I asked the students, well, line up in terms of line up, there's going to be a line, and on the extreme right, if you agree strongly that this video is real, that you agree with that very strongly, then get on the right. If you disagree strongly, then get on the left. If you're kind of neutral, get in the middle. And so I asked them to separate themselves, where they fit in on that line. And of the 25 students, 2 agreed, one strongly and one mildly agreed that the video was real, that the testimonies were valid. The other 23 were either strongly opposed or kind of neutral about it. And that shocked me because basically what I was seeing was that university students weren't ready to accept this information as real. They just came up with many of the standard responses about, well, they're making it up, how do we know it's real? CNN would tell us if it were real, and so that was kind of an important eye-opener for me. I found that the university administration was similarly not very impressed with this topic, and so that led to my forced removal from the university, and I've been studying exopolitics ever since, which for me really involves looking at 3 different processes or 3 different things. It's looking at what are the main actors or the individuals involved with the question of extraterrestrial life. So we look at, say, the role of the presidents, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, and so forth, how they've dealt with this issue of extraterrestrial life. The second is we look at the institutions. What are the main institutions that are being involved with this issue? And so straight away we come up with, say, the different intelligence departments, especially the CIA counterintelligence, the National Reconnaissance Office, the NSA. So those are some of the institutions. And then I look at, what are the processes involved here? And some of the processes are like maintaining secrecy, maintaining a psychological warfare program to discredit, debunk this whole question in the general public arena, and also funding these projects which are occurring behind the scenes. So those are the questions and the issues that I'm very interested in, and I've been doing this now for 8 years, and I'm still learning and still finding things to be amazed at. So this is truly an amazing field, and the more years you put into it, the more things that you have more questions over, and I haven't yet reached that point where I feel that I've understood the big picture.
That's right. The more you find out, the less you know.
Socratic method.
Thank you. Alfred.
Well, thank you very much. As I was saying, I'm a futurist, an activist, and a lawyer. And
Are you Dr. Alfred Weber?
I always think that the lawyers tried to get a phony PhD because I got an LLB